Fellas, I'm glad you all could join us today.
Fellas and ladies and everyone in between.
No, hold on. We're not going to do the intro yet. We can do it. Like, all right, should I? Because I don't want Tunde to have to like cut this part out. But like, no, I like the energy. I like the energy.
Just restart, man. Just now.
No, man.
All right. Yo, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back at it. You know, this is the 5th Chronicles of the coronavirus for RTBTH. Obviously, we got the hosts on. Your boy Toon, your boy He say what's up, guys.
What's up?
Yo, all right. So, guys, today we got a lot on our plates, man. The world is fucking in shambles and shit. You know, there were some things that I wanted to talk about incredibly. I almost, if we hadn't had this shit scheduled for the next day, I almost called an emergency podcast yesterday because shit is going crazy. I do also want to make sure we talk about some fun shit too. So it's not all fucking depressing, but like, I mean, the world is in an interesting state, and it's been this way for a while. But you know, coronavirus, again, as predicted, has basically put a pressure cooker on this whole situation, right? All right, so basically, I'm gonna get into the shit. This past weekend, I went down to St. Simon's with a friend or a group of friends and stuff. You know, final hoorah before like I start my PhD program and shit. You know, supposed to be mad relaxing, whatever. This shit was grim as fuck, man. Not only because the weather was trash, it's fucking hurricane season coming in and shit. Everything is gray. Also, I didn't realize if you sit outside on the beach all day, even though the sun is not out, UV rays will still fuck you up. You need to put on sunscreen. Black people too. And we melanated as fuck out here, but you still... No. I got a little darker. I got a little more tan. I didn't think I did, but like I got home, looked in the mirror. Oh, yeah, you know, man. Sometimes it'll catch you and you'll be like, whoa.
You can tan as a black person.
Yes.
I've been there, done that. Like, you know, I've actually been sunburnt. I've been sunburnt like 3 times in my life, man.
Yeah, you was fucking around outside, man. See,
man, the first time I was fucking around in Georgia, working like a slave outside all day, fucking with my parents' yard, and then the second time was in Puerto Rico.
Nice.
And that shit was the hottest sun I've ever experienced, man. There was no clouds. That junk was just out. I got destroyed.
Got to do the sunscreen, but anyway, basically. I was in St. Simon's, and for those who don't know, St. Simon's is right next to Brunswick, Georgia. It's literally like across the bridge. And Brunswick famously is where Ahmaud Arbery was recently killed. And not only, you know, are we talking about him, but like there's been a lot of different crazy murders going on for years and years and years. And of course, this new spat of them has, you know, had people up, you know, out of pocket protesting, you know, resisting the protests, all kinds of stupid shit like that, right? Basically, I was in this situation where this big ass white dude was clearly on hella drugs, like confirmedly so on blow, because he was yelling about it crazy loud. He was fucking, this dude broke his flip flop and was fucking barefoot dancing around. And I kept thinking to myself, yo, if it was me in this situation, they'd have tossed my black ass up out of here. I couldn't believe it. I come back. This was one day. The next day I come back and like, I talked to him for a second just to see like, yo, where's this guy's head at? Like, what's happening? What's going on? Seemed chill, but all of a sudden, dude ends up getting like super faded and is like basically scaring other people around. And I'm like, yo, dude, what's up? And he blows up like yelling, cussing, fuck you, like at multiple people, not just me, but like the other 2 people who were with me happen to be Brazilian dudes, but like I'm black, you know, and I had to truly check myself to be like, yo, hold up. I'm in this random ass white bar in the middle of basically nowhere. Yes, it's St. Simon's, but like on the map, that's not, you know, there were other black people in there that were ready to come to my aid. Like, it didn't come to blows, but like this dude was just erratic, right? And I had to really check myself, especially in America's climate. Like, yo, I can't get in a situation where like the police pull up and I don't know what happens. And like since that happened to me on Friday, I've been basically like super traumatized and shook, along with like these new events and shit happening with James Blake. Not James Blake. Fucking, what's his name?
Jacob Blake.
Thank you. Yeah. Where, you know, it could have been me. It just keeps running through my head over and over and over and over and over. And that's a terrifying thought to have. So I was hoping to reach out to you guys. I've tried to do wellness checks with all my other friends and shit. Cause like, yo, life can be a lot shorter than we think it is. I always have grown up thinking, yo, I'm immortal. I remember all these other times when me tuned in that he would just be out here wilding, and he
Like we couldn't
fucking
die.
wilding. Yes,
that's
at
real.
any moment, you know, like we just have different consequences than white people. And I think it's important to talk
Chicken
about it
went
on this
really bad.
podcast. Yes. I'm not going to put you on blast of all of the things that happened, but like, shit is crazy, you know? But
Shouldn't be here.
yeah, we're gonna celebrate our lives here today. Talk about like the positive shit that's going on with us, some of the negative shit, because I do want to have y'all's opinions on, you know, the bigger things that are going on, the strikes and all the big leagues and shit. But I need to get that off my chest first. That like, yo,
that's real, Herschel. Hey, look, I don't even have to go down this road, but y'all know I'm a mental health professional, man. You know, I don't like to preach too much, but I am a huge proponent of therapy. I know, you know, Herschel, you've done what you got to do to, you know, keep your psychological state of mind healthy, but it is stress. I think I mentioned this in one of the podcasts we did a while ago. It's stress just thinking about these things. It's like sort of unneeded stress, thinking about how to protect yourself as a black man in this country, you know, getting pulled over, not getting a ticket or anything, just getting pulled over, DWB, driving while black. That's stressful. But Herschel, man, I hope that, you know, we can always be here for you, man. This is what we do the podcast for, so we can, you know, stay tight and be with each other and share these thoughts and ideas and whatnot. But Herschel, man, fuck that dude. You know, he needs to go somewhere with his extra self, man.
yes,
You know, I don't even know, like, all right, let me throw this at y'all. So I go out, you know, I go for walks, I go jogging occasionally during these pandemic months, and I see hella white dudes running without shirts on. Like, some dudes don't even come out with a shirt. There's no shirt.
yep.
And I'm just like, I don't know if I would ever do that, you know?
I might have to start doing it just to fucking culturally appropriate.
But see, that's
Like,
the thing.
I'm big on cultural appropriation, man. That's still everybody's culture.
Yo, I like that. I kind of like that. Yo, I 100% agree. I like going into white spaces and just being black as fuck. I thoroughly enjoy doing that shit. And let them look at you crazy like, yo, my money is just as good, if not better than yours. What's up? I'm in the Ritz.
Right?
What's hood?
I mean-
we eating lunch at Nobu. What's hood? You know?
But the thing is, like, man, you know, I'm not trying to disparage anyone, white people, black people, nothing. You know, like, I try to take everyone for who they are when I meet them, you know, up front. But in general, like, I feel like white dudes get away with a lot of shit. Running without a shirt, the shit you just mentioned in St. Simon, Herschel, like, wilding out, nobody arresting them or nothing.
Nothing.
So, you know, I'm just like, you know, it just makes me think of what.
Dude, did you speaking of that, I mean, I didn't want to bring this up. Maybe it's not even the right time. But there was during the protests in Kenosha, there were protesters that were being shot by this white kid.
Yep.
And
2 people died.
Yep.
Yeah. But that was not the part that blew my mind. It was did you see the video? Did you guys see that video?
I did see of him walking around and getting water from the cops and fucking.
Dude, after
Also-
no, this was like right after the one where literally there's video of him shooting the people, and then maybe like 25, 50 yards down the road where the road was straight, so like the cops were parked at the end of the street, like at an intersection, and he walked after. So he shot the people. He got up and then he like half jogged for like 20 seconds down the road. Everybody around him was screaming, "Yo, he just shot those people! He just shot!" And there was cops out there. There was probably like 6 or 7 cops in vehicles. 2 of them were on their feet. They literally just let him walk by as he tried to give himself up to the police. He left. He left the state. I was sitting there like, yo, y'all just saw him shoot these people, because I don't know how you don't see it when he shot like 3 or 4 shots, and then you guys don't turn around and see like this guy's shooting, like the cops. Like, what are the cops doing? Isn't that like your first job? Like, yo, you were just involved in a shooting. I should at least ask you, like, yo, what's up? They didn't even talk to him. They just let him go.
He's not a threat to them. That's not what they're looking for. That's not what
I'm not even saying a
programmed
threat
to identify.
I'm not saying it's a threat. I'm just saying, like, your basic job as a officer is when there is any sort of thing, you just, at least you go up to them and like, you asked him what's up. I'm not saying you should like, try to arrest him or detain him or like take his gun, because I know that might be too much to ask. I'm just saying, y'all don't even want to do cop shit no more? Like what?
Yep.
I thought like at least the basic thing is just like your job is to investigate disturbances and potential crimes. I'm not saying he committed a crime. It looked like he did on camera, but hey, I don't know. But at least like you just do the basic cop shit. Yeah. Like it has nothing to do with black or white or anything like that. Like you should at least just do what they told you to do. Like you can't even do that.
But that's the thing. They're not even thinking of it as, black or white. They're thinking of it as he's not a threat. He's not the one we need to be worried about because he's white. It may be subconscious to them, but like that's a part of the programming of like, oh, the rioters, the people we need to be concerned about at this protest or whatever are people of color or white people who are also being radical. This dude who they had seen and interacted with right before the shooting also, they had identified this dude basically as, oh, he is not a threat to us. So we don't need to use whatever force or whatever questioning or whatever to take him down. But again, he has a big ass assault rifle. He just shot 3 people. 2 people died and they brought him in alive, let alone all the other shit. But at any moment, he was able shooting to leave. Unarmed black people.
He was.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
He was able to leave the situation, and then they caught him in Illinois. This was
later.
In Kenosha. This is not even the same state. So this motherfucker already fled the state, and I don't know. I mean, I just thought like cops at least like did a few things like outside of race. Like I just thought there was a few things that cops were supposed to do. Like, I'm not saying he has to be a threat. Like maybe you like the guy. Maybe he's your son. Like if your son had just shot somebody, you just would be like, all right, bro, just keep it pushing. Like, no, you go and talk to him, right? Like, man, I don't really get it.
I want to say, from what we see with the Jacob Blake shooting and this situation, it appears to me that Kenosha's police force is incompetent. And I'm going to throw one at you, Herschel, one of your favorite cities that also houses a bunch of incompetent police officers, Eufaula. Sounds kind of like Kenosha, like these cities out in the random ass, boonies of the world, particularly in the South. I guess, in the North, Midwest, Wisconsin, whatever, but they're incompetent police officers. And, you see some like, so they're operating off of like mad. Instinct and impact or sorry, like instinct and like, their subconscious kind of like reactions. So they see like a black, dangerous white guy. He's not, despite the fact that if you think through the situation, it's actually reversed. The white guy was actually the one who was a threat. The black guy was not. They're just operating off of reaction.
But I just don't understand though. Like I just, it has nothing to do with about threats to me. It has nothing to do with anything. Like, let's just say this situation happened like 20 years ago or 20 years in the future, like just with this kid shooting people and then walking down the street.
But that's the thing. It has. That other white kid shot up a church in North Carolina or South Carolina or somewhere. Dylan Roof. Yes. And they brought his ass in alive. And you know what they did? They stopped at McDonald's when they were bringing him in. Excuse me, Burger King. Let me get it right.
No, but they didn't let him leave. They didn't go to the church and be like, oh, you just shot these people. All right, well, you can get out of here. We'll catch you later. Like, no. But I'm just wondering, like, why, like, you just watch this guy shoot these people, and then you're like, all right, bro, you're free to go. Like, well, they didn't even say he's free to go. They wouldn't even talk to him. You're
misrepresenting because these events are related. The same thing with the Boston bombing.
I know they're related. I'm not saying that they're not related. But let's just take out race and prejudice and everything. I'm just talking about the basic function of the police. Like, in any situation,
but you can't take that out. That's what I'm saying. The basic function of the police is a part of suppressing minorities.
I know, but
that's whether they're poor people or like classism is a part of this too.
I know. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying they should have like arrested him. I know that's too much to ask. I'm just saying, like, you see this dude shooting people, and then you don't do any, like, you don't talk to him. You don't like say what's up, like, yo, you okay? Like, or nothing.
The cops are in a frenzy because of, first of all, what's happening to the police department. And then all of the protests, the cops aren't operating. They're not thinking.
But you have to think that's the only thing they're supposed to do. That's the one thing cops do.
Yeah, But again, this is a systemic problem.
Nobody's asking you to go do that, Tunde. Like, nobody's asking you to go figure that out. Like, I'm talking about people whose jobs, they put them in bulletproof vests, they gave them guns, they said, go out there and, like, you know, be a fucking cop. And, like, okay, yes, so you
I
don't
hope
think
that's
he's a
not all
threat?
they did. I hope they got some training. But
Well,
but
dude,
to your point, they did not. And again, to Tunde's point, especially in these small ass towns, like you got to assume it's just like how it would be with other professions, doctors. The best doctors are not going to be. Yeah, the fucking best doctors. You're not going to go to the middle of fucking Wyoming nowhere.
Fucking Kenosha.
You know, you're not. That's just not where you're gonna go. If you can't, especially if you can afford the best. You know, the best police are probably in the wealthiest of areas, and even that best quote unquote is mad subjective. Who is
right?
The best?
Atlanta, the guy who got shot at Wendy's. That was APD.
Yeah,
I'm just pissed that they didn't even do basic police things. I'm not saying that they should even not shoot black people. I'm not saying that they should have arrested this guy, but the fact that they didn't even, I saw like on the video, the guy tried to go up to the cops and they just like walked away from him. I was like,
that's exactly what happened.
Bro, what are y'all doing? Like, bro, what if this guy was hurt? He needed help from the police. Like, y'all would just leave him alone?
And you know, another thing that I feel
what
like
kind of crap is that?
We might not be like sort of identifying is that the cops might be operating on some weird instructions from their local government. Again, because the protests, like all of the media attention, maybe they were told them to like stand down or some shit, or maybe they have like the Coast Guard coming in,
What?
Look, I'm just throwing shit out there, man.
Listen, you've seen what your president has been saying about sending in the National Guard and all kinds of this and that. The rhetoric.
I was confused.
I mean, we all are. I 100% feel you. We all are.
Yo, I just want to say real quick, Eufaula, Alabama was where I was talking about for the listeners. Herschel, Ehi, and I have encountered police in Eufaula. They were somewhat incompetent as well. I just thought of that.
You take every chance you get to bash Eufaula, man.
Of course, and Muskogee too. Muskogee County, Georgia.
Yep.
Oh yeah, fuck those guys.
Well, all right, guys.
Agree with that.
Yo.
So, go ahead.
Yo. This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. We got some interesting conversations today. I hope Herschel is one of our super co-hosts. Ehi is one of our other super co-hosts, and I am Tunde, one of your super co-hosts. Yo, guys, all right. Can y'all do me this favor? Can we talk about the NBA before what happened yesterday? Like all the bubble stuff before, and then we can get it because it was so good, bruh.
Yeah, sports are back. Well, sports were back.
They need to stop this boycott.
They have. They already. So they met last night. The Lakers and the Clippers. Oh, we can get into it. We can get into that. I'll break it down.
Let's talk about the goodness of.
We can talk about the prior stuff. Yo, this dude Jamal Murray has been going off. This dude Luka Doncic has been going off. Like him and Murray and Donovan Mitchell were going back and forth the other night that I was really enjoying. I mean, sports are back. I'm not the hugest of basketball fans, but we've all been starved for competition, for live competition. I had my doubts about how the bubble was going to work out, but I mean, they figured it out. At least basketball has figured it out. Baseball is still like super random as fuck. Teams out here putting up 15 points, in back-to-back games, grand slams, left and right, willy-nilly. Niggas don't know what to do. But I think basketball has identified a way to just, keep shit rolling. What's been your favorite part?
Right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Let's shout out the Braves.
Dunking on people. Yeah. Yo, I don't know if they're gonna have to change their name soon because of all the other
man, that's
situations.
That's very affirmatory to the Native American people. I mean, I think so.
Are you Native American? Are you speaking for them? Is that
I would like to speak for them.
Are you part Cherokee, my Nigerian brother? Is that what we got going on?
I'm an indigenous person. I'm from a place where I was indigenous to, then I left.
Oh, so you a colonizer, bro? Oh, whoa there, whoa. He did say that about stealing cultures earlier. Uh-oh.
I do like that.
Damn, dog.
You know what? Speaking of stealing cultures, I think that, in my estimation, NBA culture is the most fascinating, the coolest, the dopest. And I think it's because the players and the organization is just like really resilient. And I mean,
and forward thinking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Except, they probably got a little too deep with China, but whatever. We ain't gonna go there right now. We ain't gonna go there right now.
Yo, this has been a long season, man.
That's
That
true.
China
That's
shit
true as
happened
fuck.
this season.
The United States over here trying to reject China and we need to bring all our jobs back. Y'all shipped all the jobs over there like 20 years ago. So I don't even, but whatever. We're not even going to go down that road.
Yo, they're not rejecting these Chinese dollars.
I mean, we'll see because they are plenty. So, but I mean, like, think about it. Even just as regular people, like, you can't just go out and play football. You need pads. You need people. You can't just go out and play baseball because nobody wants to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, basketball is just anywhere, anytime. Let's hoop. And I feel like the NBA figured it out, man. And the bubble to me has been really well done. The aesthetics have been excellent. Personally, I don't like the piped in, crowd noise, but at the same time, I do get kind of like lulled a little bit, and I think it's like, oh shit, is this a real, has the pandemic over? Is this a year ago or a year later from now? But it's just like a really resilient organization.
I have a question for you. So since the bubble has been going super well, and let's assume, the rest of the season continues on, and let's talk about 2021. You've seen how well shit has gone with no fans and no fucking cameramen right there next to the hoop. So LeBron can fucking bust his head open when he flies past the goalpost, like all that shit, right? Do you think, and I've heard analysts and commentators mention this before, do you think they are done with fans? Not done with fans, but like, you think they're just like, yo, 3 to 5 years, yo, fuck y'all fans. Y'all don't know how to act anyway. We're just going to super tax on the front end of the TV dollars. And of course, we talked on the podcast earlier this year about the millions of dollars that are lost when not having people come in at the gate, let alone spending on, concessions and all that shit as well. But the risk, what do you do?
I mean, for me, I don't know. I have a personal stake in this. It's like one of my life goals is to like be courtside at some epic playoff or championship.
Yo,
basketball
courtside
game.
Is dead, bro. Courtside is dead. You can't be out here coughing from the sideline, dog. Nah, get your ass up out of here.
I'm trying to be out there sitting next to Phil. What's his name? What's the
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. I was saying Phil Nicholson. Jack Nicholson and whatever the other dude's name, Spike Lee and all those guys. Trying to be high-fiving Drake and shit. That's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So if there's no fans, it kind of ruins my dream. I can't have that.
Well, I'll be sure to call my local NBA commissioner to let them know how you feel, Eddie.
Thank you. The representation.
I mean, Herschel, man, look, every organization, every business is going to find a way when the time comes and after we've sort of overcome the virus, we're going to find a way to get people back to doing stuff. However, there might be some leverage for the players. Like if they're like, look, we can't have people within like 10 feet of the out of bounds, boundary or whatever.
I think that's a good idea.
Like, I think they're going to negotiate, and same with the cameraman. I know what you're talking about, Herschel, from a couple years ago. I feel like LeBron still has that scar. Like, if you pay attention closely, he still has that scar. Also, them cameras sharp as fuck, huh?
Hell yeah.
They big as hell. They heavy as
hell
fuck.
Yeah. Heavy. Hell yeah.
Bruh.
He was probably concussed, dead ass, and he finished that game. He was probably most certainly concussed. He was bleeding from the fucking sharpness of the ring, but like it was legit like a fucking circle on my man's head. It wasn't helping the hairline,
Ain't no stopping LeBron. But I think probably in a lot of things that, a lot of just basic things that we have going on, whether it's how students are educated or, if people, how many days a week people go to work, we're all going to be trying to negotiate something new, when we finally deal with this virus. And yeah, I mean, I feel like the NBA could figure something out, but I think overall people are going to try to get back to as much as possible as far as the arena, the audience, the crowd. So we'll see. But I guess technically they don't need no crowd, man. All they need is the bubble.
That's true,
dude. I feel like the natural dynamics that evolve from crowds in sporting events is just something that can't be replicated or, I guess, even delayed for too long. I mean, once there's an opportunity to do it, I feel like they'll go back right away, and it's going to be epic. They're going to make even more money from doing that because people are going to be so happy to get back to the games. They can charge whatever they want, and it's going to be a celebration. And, it's going to be a big event for them. I think it's inevitable that they'll go back.
Yeah. I think I 100% agree there. They're definitely going to capitalize on this shit. And a thing that we're not really thinking about are like these dudes, although they're, super talented and, playing a sport, a lot of them are performers. It's a performance act to an extent. Like, I'm going to fucking put on a show. Like, not only am I going to score 50 on you, but I'm going to make you look crazy while I'm doing it. And that aspect is lost. Like there is still some of that when they're playing against, other players, that high level of competition of like, people should be able to turn it on at any point. But some players feed off of all that energy, whether it's the away team, being the away team and the crowd yelling, booing at you. And you're like, feed me. I like that. Or the home crowd. Now, of course, the greats should be able to perform in any weather, but I think there is an aspect of this that, is just unquantifiable. Of course, home court advantage, home field advantage, things like that are a real thing that you can, statistically identify. But the bubble gets rid of all that. I've actually seen statistics about how, like, particularly when teams were traveling to different stadiums and stuff, how teams would go to play in Miami. And let's say it was a Miami Sunday game or some shit like that, Sunday afternoon. It would be most often that Miami would blow out the other team or just at least win those games against the other team because these guys, these rich millionaires are in Miami. They might be from or be living in Milwaukee or wherever the fuck. They're going to have a good time. They're going to have more of a good time than they normally might. And they might come out here with a little bit of a hangover and get their ass whooped. All those aspects are taken away in the bubble. So honestly, I would imagine the owners really like that. Like, oh, my asset or this thing that I've invested a whole bunch of money in, it's way less likely for some crazy shit to go on because we've got them all under lock and key. There will be no fucking Eugene Robinson, Atlanta Falcons safety in the Super Bowl, fucking getting caught with a prostitute the night before the Super Bowl and then getting beat on a fucking deep route the following day in the Super Bowl, losing that shit for us in 1998 against the Denver Broncos. Yes, I'm still tight about that game. I was 8 years old. I watched that shit. I was so upset. Eugene Robinson, man of the year, NFL player, man of the year that year as well, caught with a fucking prostitute the night before. What the fuck, bro? If you was in a bubble, no prostitutes. Ain't no prostitutes in the bubble. Y'all saw what happened to that Seattle player. They cut that dude immediately. Kaleem or Camille, whatever his name was, some chick. For those who don't know, I'll fill our listeners in. Basically, the NFL is starting back up. They were starting their camps and whatnot, socially distanced, but masks and this, that, this. They're quote unquote, team bubbles. Dude tried to sneak in a girlfriend, little thought, little Thatiana. She was dressed as a Seattle Seahawks player, and they clearly sniffed that out. So.
What?
Listen,
she tried to dress.
Yes.
Wow.
They cut, serious? Buddy. They cut him that day. They were like, nah,
serious?
Bro. Listen, man.
He was really trying to get to the poom poom.
And of course, this dude is also, this is another thing about like talent. Like if he was if it was Russell Wilson sneaking in Sierra, they'd have been like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Fine. But this dude was an undrafted free agent, just risking it all. I don't know why. I don't know why he was trying to flex, but he was, and shit happened. So.
Damn, that's a life-changing mistake right there.
For real.
Yeah.
All for the... okay. Well,
hey, man.
I'm kind of tight that you're still mad about that Falcons Broncos shit, man. But it was bad, though. I do remember that route, too. It was kind of fucked up.
Yep. Do we have other thoughts on the previous NBA before we get into the strike?
What about Luka Doncic, though? Where did they find this nigga?
Yo, the Hawks fucked up. I know Will and Ordu are listening out here. Yo, our basketball experts, basketball prince out here. I do have to admit, the Hawks, I know Trey probably would have been cool in the bubble. It would have been great, but I mean, I don't know what you do against Luka. You could build a team around that.
I have never seen anyone do that. Like the whole game, he was just balling out. He basically had almost no help, and then you hit the game winner like that, like on a step back, looking like what's his face from the NCAA? No, well James Harden, but no, what was that other dude from the NCAA championship a while ago
from Villanova?
Yeah.
Oh, Kemba?
Kemba Walker, yeah. He looked like that Kemba Walker step back, man. He stepped back like 8 feet.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, Luka is something else, man. I mean, the basketball expert was explaining this to me the last time I saw him, I think at your crib, Herschel. But he was saying, because I was just like, yo, Luka looks so slow. Like, what is going on here? I don't understand how he's supposedly so skilled. I hadn't watched too much of him play, but he was just telling me it's just pure, just like skill and basketball acumen. And now that I'm watching him a lot more, I mean, yeah, it's just like the way he steps out of trouble. Like he steps out of trouble into a good shot. And the thing is, if you can just like these NBA players, they will hit everything. They just need to be open. So that's like why this step back is so huge now, because it gives them space. But I feel like
and the Euro step, man.
Yeah,
Luka
exactly.
Had this crazy Euro step the other day too. I was like, bruh.
Yeah, I feel like I know which one you're talking about.
Across the paint.
He like crossed his body across Paul George and just like went for a layup.
And Paul George just stood there.
Just like, oh.
I've been Euro'd.
Just got Euro'd. Like, nothing you can do. But the thing about Luka is, bro, he's like mixing in he's mixing in Euros with step backs, with drop steps. Like he's doing all of that and like, you know,
he's got good post play too, man. He's like, I'm like, dude, this guy can move down there. I'm pretty impressed.
It's that footwork, baby.
It is.
Kids, don't sleep on the footwork.
It's got to be
very essential. Very essential. Yeah, man, Luka's been going crazy. So all right, let's talk about the series. I mean, what do y'all think of the Clippers, man? I just first of all, I just got to say, man, like I haven't transitioned my hate for the Warriors completely to the Clippers.
Why do you hate the Clippers now?
I just said I haven't transitioned completely.
What do you mean completely? I don't understand why you need to transition that hate.
Yo, this is the Tune Hate segment of the podcast. I really enjoyed this. This is one of my favorite segments right here. Look, Tune goes in for no reason.
Let me just say this. It is mind-blowing to me that so many people thought and still think, and they have a good chance that the Clippers are just going to win. I mean, the Clippers have been in the basement. They've been the dregs of the NBA for, I don't know how long they've been around. Probably decades. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, Kawhi, Paul George, championship. I'm just like, guys, come on. Let's slow down. This, to me, if they win, it's going to be like the Chicago Cubs winning a championship after over 100 years. It's going to be that wild. Like, so I'm just like, I don't understand why there's so much love for this team. And then we see Luka's out here hitting game winners on him. I'm just like, come on, man. These guys are very...
Bruh,
they're a good team.
What's his face? Porzingis or whatever his name is.
The series is 3-2 now, correct? After the Clippers smacked him that last time. And yes, Luka is a little bit hobbled.
No Porzingis.
No Porzingis. He sprained his left ankle. Is that?
Yeah.
And then Marcus Morris out here trying to,
he did that on a sprained ankle. Like that game 4 that they had, he did that on a sprained ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he was just tired. Like you can't go that ham back to back against like, a team like the Clippers.
Hold up. So what you're saying to me right now is he staged this whole strike and postponing the game so Luka could rest. Is that the conspiracy theory? Is that what we're going with, A? Because I mean, I'm on board.
Go with it.
I'm on board
with it. I want to go with it.
Yo,
I want a 7-game series. I want a 7-game series, man.
Yes, that's huge. Yo, if by any means necessary. I've also heard, LeBron out here was afraid of the Clippers essentially winning the ship, and he might be listening to the media just like Tunde has been saying here. And was like, yo, you know what? Wrap the season up. We're not gonna play. And then he walked out of the meeting. He walked out that fucking meeting, and he convinced the Clippers to also want to throw in the towel, but then everybody else still wanted to play. But no matter what, I mean, there's going to be an asterisk.
To give up too.
Yes, that's correct. He did, yeah. But I mean, no matter what, there's going to be a fucking asterisk this year.
What?
There's no avoiding it.
No, of course.
There's been too much. There's been too many. Bro, everything about 2020 is a wash. I'm still 29. I haven't had a birthday. Like fuck all that bullshit. That didn't happen.
This year is like it is a wash. Everything's just gonna
but the NBA is still competitive. If the NBA is giving out championships, it's a championship.
Well, of course, and it's going to be a special championship. I feel like everybody's going to want to like be the champion from the coronavirus time because it's such a special
the COVID
time.
Champ.
Like, no matter how bad it is in terms of like the politics and crisis and everything, I feel like this is a time where you can tell these stories. I mean, let's say Luka Doncic comes through and then just carries them to the ship. Like that would be right. No matter what you can say about how crazy it is, like it wasn't real competition, like it'll be an epic story that will live on forever. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that this is going to happen.
They're already exactly. Gonna make
it'll easily be one, and it will be one of the best ones of all time, just because of it's Corona time right now.
Yo, so somebody's going to lift it. I mean, it depends. It depends on if your team.
I don't think the asterisk is a negative. I don't think the asterisk in this case is a negative because what else are you going to do? You know, like you got no options. You're not going to be able to say, nah, like we can make it normal, but we didn't want to.
Right. And the other part of this is everybody, like it's a ubiquitous thing. Everybody is going through this coronavirus shit. Like whoever wins the championship is raising up the trophy and is like, yo, I dedicate this to coronavirus and racism. That's all. Or the ending of racism, excuse me. But they might misspeak and say racism. You never know. You never know these days. If it's the Celtics, you don't know.
Shit, man.
Yes, something like that. But I agree. There'll be, questioning of it. And it makes me also question because we're so late into the year already. It's fucking August, about to be September. How do we fucking quantify next season? Like they can't start again in October.
Yeah.
Do they push it back to December? And then again, you can't just keep playing these games. Baseball, I think it's dead for, not to switch sports too quickly, but I think it's dead for that 162 game season. Except for, of course, the TV contracts.
I feel like it should be. Because
ain't nobody had time for that.
Yeah. I feel like it should be maybe a twice a week sort of event for baseball. But they be having like whole weeks straight. They play every day.
Double headers all the time.
Like sometimes they play twice in the same day. I'm saying like, what are y'all talking about? Like, this isn't a real thing. Like... I don't understand.
This isn't a real thing.
Yeah, like half these games don't even matter. They come at the end of the season. It's like the team who's won like 10 games more than they lost is like the champion. It's like how the hell, like so y'all just watch like 90% of y'all games. Like what is this?
Correct. It's some bullshit.
Yeah, man. I feel like they can get more money by having the games on more important days so they can be televised and people will able to attend. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to see racist people riot, though, if they start canceling baseball games, more strikes in baseball, and they already had some. The Milwaukee Brewers were like, nope, we just can't do this. We can't keep doing this, which I thoroughly applaud. But like, you want people to actually be upset, take away the shit that they care about, which again is why people have been so upset about the whole wearing masks shit. Not even that it's like that huge a deal, but like some shit that directly affects them. All these other people are like, I don't even watch basketball like that, even though racists do watch basketball too. But it's a lot more of them watching NASCAR and baseball. I'll say that. Yeah. Football. Yeah. College football. College football is fucking a lot of people up not having that outlet when, they don't have anything else going in their lives. And the only interaction they have with black people is cheering on their favorite running back.
Yo, let's talk about football, college football specifically before we go back to the NBA bubble. But I find this shit so fascinating, man. Like I've been listening to a lot of this sports talk, even though the number one sports talk in America is right here,
right here, right now.
Let's go. But it's just so fascinating, like how. First of all, I don't know where I stand. Like, I don't think the players should play unless the NCAA or their organization are willing to step up. Like, they just need to go ahead and drop, like, give them all like a good $15K. You know what I'm saying? And like, all right, and then we'll talk about, maybe some health insurance as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
or like a trust fund. Like, you're worried about these players, going and spending money and wasting and getting in trouble. It's like, dude, just put it all into a trust fund. When you graduate, it makes sure that people will graduate. You give them enough money, make sure they stay in school, make sure they graduate. When they graduate, they get access to this money that they can use to do whatever the hell they want. Obviously, there has to be some shit so they don't just go and blow it on a Lamborghini. But You know what I'm saying? Like, they should do this for everyone. It should be a trust fund that you go in there, you put your life on the line. It's simple. Like, this is a financially stable thing. You get payments every year. You can set it up as an annuity, or you can set it up as a certain structured lump sum that you can do, spend on certain things. I mean, there's ways of doing this where you wouldn't have to violate any sort of amateurism or whatever. But these idiots are, they have no creativity. It's like, why are you guys just saying this shit as if it's like, oh yeah, like if we start paying them, then we're going to start paying them millions, and then they're going to go ham, and then like it's going to be all fucked up, and there's not going to be tourism, and that destroys the beauty of the sport. Like, who gives a fuck? These guys are playing for the reward of making millions in the NFL. That's why they're putting their fucking lives on the line, not for no amateurism, not for the fun of the game. Like, people are trying to get to the cash. And yeah, it's fun to play football, but people wouldn't be going out there smashing their heads into the wall if they're going to get 10 cents at the end of the day. So, it's simple. Like, there's so many different options, but people just are not creative. They just lack any sort of like perspective on what really matters.
You know what it is it's a pimp mentality. There's this book by the famous pimp. What the fuck was his
Iceberg
fucking
Slim?
name? Iceberg Slim, yes. Where like basically you keep them broke, and then what you do is give them little pieces. You break them off. Oh yeah, you bash your head in the wall and you were all fucked up. You broke your leg. Da da da. But you remember that time I gave you access to all these hoes, or bought your mom a car or a house, or some minor shit that at the time is like, oh yeah, I never would have had the opportunities to do any of these things, but you took me on your yacht, Mr. Booster. You took me around all these famous other nice white people to shake my hand. But the moment I was off the team, or the moment I wasn't producing or winning for you, making you some money, you don't know me. What's that about? But it's a pimp mentality of keeping broke, and you control cash.
That makes me think of Django Unchained, when they had that scene in, I guess it was Leonardo DiCaprio's character's living room, like at the very beginning before shit really started popping off, and they had that scene of the two black guys fighting. I remember there was like two side shots that looked so devastating, but after the guy who won, they gave him a big ass cup of beer. I'm like, what the fuck is he gonna do with that? what the heck is he gonna do?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, thank you, whatever, sir, master, whatever he said, because that's how they sort of keep you down. They trick you into thinking that it's a reward. The beer, you drink it, it goes away, you're drunk, you come back to reality. But I see where you're coming
throw
from.
Throw that beer out anyway.
Yep. Yo, my man, Herschel Walker, I hate to say it, has been drinking that same Kool-Aid and out here talking at the RNC and all kind of stupid shit. We see this shit happening. He's not the first one. OJ was doing it till he killed a white girl, and they were like, "Oh, he actually is black."
Hold up.
He actually is black.
But it's the exact same shit.
Herschel, man,
what's up?
I'm glad, kind of mad you brought that up, because I was about to do a get your man's. All right, so let me just go ahead and do this correctly. Okay. This is our segment where we, call up some people, and then we call out the people whose man's day is, and it's called Whose Man's Is This? To get your man's beat. And this one is for you, Herschel. This one is for you. Get your man's beat. All the Herschels in the world. But I will say, Herschel, man, officially, you are the GOAT, Herschel.
Easily.
Hey, man, thank you very much.
Undisputed.
With all due respect to Mr. Herschel III.
Right. He's pretty cool too. But thank you. Yeah, bro. My dad also was talking to me about that shit and was like, "Hey, man, he's out here giving us a bad name." We might have to pull up on him, dead ass.
Bro,
we might have to go. Hey,
I'm like reading some of the shit he's saying. He's not like conservative. Like, he's full on Trump. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's talking about how Black Lives Matter is like a Marxist organization and shit. Like, this is like,
I don't know where people
right
find this shit, man.
Say what?
It's not even right. I hate this left and right shit. I hate it so much. But continue.
I mean, I was just saying, like, Herschel Walker was like, like you have your black supporter, black Trump supporter. They're conservatives and they just got to ride with the team. Like, I feel like Herschel is just like, he might be doming Trump up in the back somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta say his full name. You can't just. I can't let you just say
Herschel Walker. That's the Herschel I'm talking about. Not the GOAT Herschel. Okay, I'm talking about Herschel Walker.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah. Man, shit is crazy, man.
I mean, think about. Have you guys been watching the RNC? Not to switch it to politics.
Man. I can't. What? I'm sorry, bro.
Y'all niggas gotta watch that shit.
I should.
Some of this shit is funny.
Yeah, some of the shit is funny, but also like the speakers that have come across, it's actually quite concerning in terms of who is now getting the national stage to support Trump, and where are all of the professional leaders, as to say, so to speak, for the conservatives, and why none of them are actually presenting themselves to support Donald Trump. I mean, it's actually quite scary, because at this point now, it's like the other party is actually not conservatives who actually have values and things that they actually want to accomplish, but it's just these radicals who just say, oh, well, now I want to go against whatever has hurt me, or whatever Donald Trump thinks is important today. That's what I'm going to be supporting. And that's not really a real policy. That's not a way to lead a country. And it's actually really dangerous. I mean, because you can't make progress, which puts you behind everyone else in the world. I don't know, man. I think it's kind of crazy that no real Republicans, no real conservatives actually care about Trump enough to go up there and stand and tell people to vote for him.
Yeah, they've seen that it's the ones who do have a brain still and who still follow the Republican line are who are true Republicans or conservatives, whatever, are avoiding him. But it's the radicals. And I mean, Trump has created this environment and isn't going to let somebody up there who doesn't support him or think the way he does or get the crowd riled up. Like that's who's really even showing up to these fucking things anyway, man. It's a fucking show. Why would you want to go in person to a fucking political rally? Like what kind of fucking person are you that like that's what you want to do? Like that's your Friday night, that's your Thursday night, however many days of the week, the middle of the week, the shit is. But the same thing does go for the Democratic National Convention. But at the same time, they do have other diverse things out here. Damn, we haven't even talked about Kamala yet. I just realized that. Not to pivot, I'm gonna cut it off there. Unless do we want?
You know what? Let's talk about the politics in another podcast because I was thinking of some shit. And it could go down the rabbit hole, but I guess we can go ahead and congrats Kamala one time. Congratulations, Kamala Harris.
Congratulations.
I just have to say, if
today, man, she was seeming real presidential.
Last week during the DNC.
Well, yeah, but also she had a speech today. I had seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and I just say one thing, man. I'm just so happy with the Democratic Party right now because they're following this the only way they can win, man. They're doing the thing. So I'm just happy that
trashing Trump.
Yeah, they start off by trashing Trump, just not even really trashing Trump, just like saying the stuff that he's done, and it just sounds so bad. And then so it's like an obvious insult, and then they just then start talking about the issues, which is like great. I think that's the way they should have been doing it since the beginning. But,
I'm surprised, Ehi. I didn't know you was riding with us.
I was about to vote for Trump, man.
I'm a little bit surprised too, man. I'm glad the DNC is following Ehi's playbook on this one because I
thought it was obvious. That's the only reason why I said it. But
I mean, it's so easy though. Like they don't even have to. I'm sure that there's some solid policies, but man, I don't want to go down the politics rabbit hole. But the Democrats aren't super situated and tight with their policy approach.
Yeah, they're not
because they're just trashing Trump, and I'm like, do what you got to do. I'm pretty sure whatever they come up with will be better than whatever Trump comes up with. But they're not necessarily just skating. They might skate to a win, but policy wise, I think
it's gonna be hard.
skating.
But we'll see, man. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah. I mean, we're moving the right direction. We'll say that.
Yeah. Yo, to break away from politics, let's talk about something a little brighter. So this topic is a positive. Yes, there are still, people in hard times and whatnot going on and who need this money. But we happen to be in positions where we all have jobs. We all have some level of security or are in school or some shit like that. We're okay. And, I hope the best for everybody. But we found out there's a second stimulus check on the way. So I want to ask you guys.
Who found out? Wait, when
is that official?
Yeah, was it not confirmed
today?
2 days, like a day or two ago? It's very recent. It's very, very recent. That they will be mailing them out in the next. I mean, I don't know the time frame, but I did see that, and feel free to please Google and confirm. But yeah, what's the best way to blow a stimulus check?
Onlyfans.com. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the not so happy fun times of the bubble. But the news is pretty big. Although I feel like it might just be like a black thing. Like I don't know if people are really like across all kinds of cultures are really like understanding the impact of the NBA strike.
Nah, they are, man. I think that's
Pretty
the point
big?
of the strike. I think that's the point of the strike. The whole White House group of bastards we're talking about it today, so they know, and they're probably the whitest individuals in this country with zero connection to black people. So they're able to realize that something's going on. I think it's doing its job.
Yeah. I'll have to get back to you after I watch the PBS NewsHour because that's how I determine what's important or not.
Shout out to the sponsor.
Shout out to the sponsor, PBS NewsHour, holding it down. Yo, the best premium, sort of non-biased news that has ever existed. But whatever. Look, we ain't gonna go down that road right now. But
you're probably right, man. I used to sleep on PBS News. I watch it every now and then.
Oh, it's gonna be every day. Just wait. But you know, so we all know the NBA players are striking. It started off with the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, I think it's incredibly powerful. You know, I just like, you know, I was enjoying basketball and I was getting ready to watch Luka play again, you know, and let's see what's really good. See how
see if he recovers.
Yeah, and with Porzingis, see if the Clippers are really about what everyone's trying to say they are. And it hurts. It hurts, you know, like I want to watch basketball, man. I was on it. I was loving it. You know what I'm saying? But I think
what
to
also
me,
hurts? 7 shots in the back. That shit must hurt really bad.
Yes, that is exactly right. And the players as well. I'm sure it pains them because a lot of the players, according to news reports, were not even enthusiastic about coming to the bubble because of all the stuff that was going down. You know, so I don't know, man. What's y'all's thoughts about this? Like, how does it, you know, are y'all hurting as far as like missing out on the NBA right now?
I'm not hurting, but like it was, I mean, you know, sports are an outlet, right? You know, it is supposed to be a place where you can just kind of get away from everything else. But at the same time, you know, race is not gonna, it doesn't go away. It's in every aspect of our lives. I'm glad they're doing it. I support it. I was watching basically right when that shit happened, right before I think it was the Rockets game that was supposed to start, and it was on TNT, and they had Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, and Charles Barkley at their doubly big ass quarantine desk, and they were speaking on it. They had a lot of positive things that I liked that were said, and then Shaq said some shit that I also disagreed with. Kenny actually walked off of the stage in solidarity with the players. I really appreciated that. Chris Webber was speaking to this shit, and basically one of the things that really touched me was like, and we've heard this story before, right? Basically, you know, black kid dies. There's video of it. Shit becomes a hashtag. We protest, we riot, we strike, whatever. I have been a person who some of those images, you know, it's painful for me to watch. You know, I try not to look at that shit. But this man, Chris Webber, dropped some knowledge and was like, basically there's courage in watching this shit. And he found this basically from Emmett Till's mother, who decided to take her son's, you know, bloodied and beaten face and put it on the front page newspaper, to, you know, put a face to what's happening in the world. So when I or others are denying, you know, looking at these images, even though they're horrifying images, we are kind of diluting what's actually happening, you know? And I don't watch Fox News. Sometimes I guess it's on, you know, in the gym and shit like that, but they never show, you know, the exact thing. They always kind of show build up to it. And we, even on this podcast, have talked about how like the news will kind of throw images over and over and over and traumatize by, you know, just showing black bodies getting beaten on TV. But at the same time, we got to document this shit. We got to know, and we got to show people and see, and hopefully they will recognize and, you know, change their thought process. The problem is a lot of these people are set in their ways and are thinking, oh, well, if he hadn't done anything wrong, he wouldn't have got shot. Or if he'd have just, did this or did that, when in reality it was, if he hadn't been black, he wouldn't have been shot, But I like that they protested. The things that I liked about what Shaq said were basically, he was like, yo, what are the next steps though? Like, what can you do next? This is your job, your livelihood. This is a strike. But like, are you going to finish the season? Yes, you've made a statement. You've brought, eyes to this. But again, and this is a reason I think these large strikes and strikes in general in the NFL don't work, is because in the NBA, there's a lot more centralized player power. Not only is it financial of like, oh, there's only 10 guys and like 7 or 8 of them are established millionaires and will be okay. And the other 4 or 5 or however many can float by on NFL rosters. They can't all do that. They need every single check, whether they were spending money poorly and not saving or what. It's never that simple. Anytime, you choose to strike, it's never that simple. And even on top of that, when these NBA players strike, they do also affect other people's jobs who were supposed to be doing shit, not even just the refs or whatever. And of course, there aren't fans and stuff now, but like all the other hands that are involved, do they still get a paycheck? For the TNT broadcast, they spoke for like 15, 20 minutes and then they shut that shit off. They turned on like a fucking Adam Sandler movie or some shit and had to fucking scramble and figure it out. Yeah. Some randomness, and was like, yo, to be announced, because the network was also, blindsided and caught off guard, which is great. Yeah. Great. Fuck them. And financially, that is also how these things happen from strikes and protests. And once, money, people with real money, billionaires money gets involved, you start seeing movement. So today I saw that the trifecta of Cleveland sports teams, the Browns, the Indians, who I don't know, did they change their name? I don't know what's going on there. And the I don't remember what their fucking baseball or their basketball team is. Oh, the Cavs, right? All their leadership groups, the coaches and executives came together to be like, all right, we need to fucking figure something out to create some initiative. And at the same time, black people, we understand, this shit's not gonna happen overnight. But we've also been trying to do different shit for over 400 years. And it hasn't improved. There's just different, forms of, Jim Crow law racism. Shout out to the new Jim Crow. Again, we're living in this time where they're trying to keep us broke. They're trying to keep us controlled. They don't like when we're smart or mouthing off or financially competent and stable and leaders and on that same playing field as them. They don't like that. They don't like being reminded of that. That, if this money wasn't here, if the clothes or, the status wasn't here, we're the exact same. So I like that, the players are flexing their power. I love to see that. You love to see it. I'm always going to, for the most part, side with the players in any kind of dispute with management. But this isn't even a dispute with management. This was just a thing of like, yo, we were upset. Even the Bucks leadership was like, yo, we didn't know beforehand that they were going to do this, but we wholeheartedly support it. And again, that's a blessing that the NBA has, because ain't no leadership going to come out against black people. No NBA team is going to do that in this day and age. But very recently, we saw that the same shit was happening in the NFL. Literally yesterday, the 26th, was the 6-year anniversary of the first time Colin Kaepernick sat on the bench for the national anthem. And we see how far we've come. We see how many more names we've added to that list since Trayvon Martin.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I completely agree. I would just say, I mentioned earlier that the White House, the different faces, talking heads that come out of there, were talking about the protest. I mean, Trump mentioned it, or he was asked about it. He said it was absurd or silly. His chief of staff said it was crazy. But and Jared Kushner came out and said something similar too. But at the end of what he was saying, I actually was like, well, hey, maybe it's an empty gesture, or maybe it's not. But he said that the protest is one thing, but where are we going to go from here? Like, we're all trying to make action to improve things. Just protesting isn't going to change anything. So, LeBron and those guys are welcome to come to the White House. They can, they're welcome to pick up the phone and call us. We're ready to work together. And I was like, well, that's the first time. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Herschel's over here shaking his head. But I was shocked to even hear it because at first, it's the Jared Kushner smug, very aloof, kind of condescending tone of discussing minority issues. So that's sort of the way I perceived it at first. But then, I mean, maybe that's just the way he talks, right? So maybe I shouldn't read too much into it. But then at the end, he did say that he was open to discussions on concrete action. And I was like, well, you may not like him, you may not like his politics, you may not like who he's associated with, but hey, if the guy says he's trying to do something, I would take him up on it. I believe, even if somebody hasn't been on your side in the past, they have the opportunity to do better in the future. I feel like you should at least go talk to them and see. Maybe we will be, set right, and we would know that he's full of shit in the end. But I think we can't make that assumption in the beginning. So people should take them up. If it's Trump or if it's Kamala and Biden, I don't care who it is. I think anybody who's ready to make some concrete steps to improve things, I think is you should take anyone.
I will say I don't think it's Trump. I'm gonna say nah, fuck that dude. And they tried. I mean, they didn't try, but like Kanye went up there, and not to put him on blast because like we got some word. No. All right, so you remember when he got elected, right? You're right. We'll get into that. That's my get your mans for later. But Steve Harvey went up there. He called fucking Jim Brown up there. All kinds of different black people. Some of them civil rights leaders in their own rights and shit. And they all went up that golden elevator and shit. And then they came back down. Paparazzi was popping them in the face, and they were looking like fucking deer in the headlights. Like, yo, what the fuck did I just fucking listen to? This, we are in trouble. Like, so I don't think Trump is the guy. I think he's the one to tell you in your face, like, oh yeah, those are great ideas. Yeah, we do have to do something better about the blacks. There is some stuff that, I love black people. Black people love me. Actually, that's what he would say. He wouldn't even say I love black people love me. I got so many black people that love me. Herschel Walker, that's one of my best friends. Oh yeah, we go golfing every Thursday. Knowing goddamn well he ain't seen him in 30 years. But anyway, I don't think that's the guy. I don't really think Republicans in general care.
All I'm saying is that you can't let them say, oh, we extended the olive branch and you guys turned your back. I mean, look, what does it cost them to go and somebody else try? Maybe Jared Kushner has more sense than Trump. Who knows, right? I mean, I'm not expecting that anything positive will happen, but it's better than nothing, right? Like something positive could happen, but you're going to be like, nah, not these guys. Like I won't work with them. Like, nah, I'm never one of those kind of people. So, I mean, especially when you're in a position where you can't do it yourself. It's not up to us. Like the basketball players are not, government officials. They are not congressmen and women. They can't make legislation. They can't even lobby and write laws. I mean, yeah, they can, hire a lobby firm to do these things. That's a different story, but that's not their angle. They don't have the skills to be able to do that effectively. So you can't be like, oh yeah, they should go and like march in the streets. I mean, yeah, like how long are you going to march for? I mean, that's not going to do anything. You need people who are going to make a real difference in the back rooms where the laws are written. I don't know. So I think they should take them up on it. I mean, even if it doesn't work, at least you can say like, look, we went, I literally read them these things. The guy said, I love black people, and said he wasn't going to do it. And then we know where he stands. Instead of people coming out, nobody really puts out what really happened. I mean, you gotta maybe get this stuff on TV so people can actually see what's going on. I think, that those backroom meetings with Trump and all that stuff. Yeah, I think it's prime fodder for his bullshit to take over. But I think when you put him in front of, scrutinizing eyes, he can't completely act like a fool and derail the conversation. Otherwise, it becomes clear and he becomes embarrassed, and then, he feels like he has to at least act with a certain level of decorum. I don't know.
I think you're right there, that we do have to try. We do have to make attempts. And, this podcast is also sponsored by voting. Make sure you get out here and vote. RTBTH #vote. Get out the vote. But yes, even there, though, our voting system has been disenfranchised. Even there, they're always stealing elections and shit. So at what point do we fucking create not just riots, but revolution? At what point is it like, yo, hold up, this is too much. You're gerrymandering every cent away from my community and towards this other community that doesn't look like me. And then you're sending police officers to strike fear and control us, to keep us in our place. And with the promises of, oh, if you play football or if you rap or if you make it through the cracks, maybe we'll let you in. But all the rest of y'all, nah. We're not going to afford you the same opportunities. Not for real, at least. We might say we will, but not for real.
That's real.
And that's how
I mean, look, people change. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I actually agree quite significantly. I'm just one of those people that I do believe in redemption. I do believe people realize and change. I'm not saying Trump is one of those people because, none of the evidence shows that he's actually going to improve or change, because he hasn't so far. But, even people like Joe Biden, he wasn't always the shining beacon of, progress or racial, justice. But even he has come a long way in his perspectives. I mean, he's talked to people. I think people do grow. And so just because they did or said things that were stupid in the past doesn't mean they can't be an ally in the future. I mean, even in, I'm an atheist, but even in the Bible, wasn't it Paul who was like the biggest, what is it called? Critic or
Sinner.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Sinner, but he was like against Jesus. Like he used to persecute
He was
them.
Saul. He was Saul. And
Saul,
he changed his name.
yeah. Then he changed the name to Paul.
Yeah, but
and
that's
then
just
he was
a
like
parable.
the biggest. I know. But I'm saying, like, people believe this shit, so they can go ahead and believe this story too. So if you believe that, then you can believe that people can redeem themselves and.
Yeah. Hey, you're an atheist, bro? What the fuck? Get off my pocket. No, I'm just kidding. So I just want to say, man, personally, like I've mentioned this before, I hate always having to bring things back to psychology, but that's my frame of mind for a lot of things. I think, the NBA has caused a lot of people to feel uncomfortable, and I think that's how sort of change is happening. If it's those backroom conversations with these higher ups, Jared Kushner, Trump, whatever, that's going to be uncomfortable. And something is happening. But if you're talking about we ain't going to go and play basketball and everyone is starting to sort of like have these conversations about black bodies being exploited, for viewership, but also black bodies are getting gunned down by cops. And, we're forced to have these conversations and think about these things. That's also uncomfortable. And I kind of feel like with the NBA players, like, they could probably pull some strings. Supposedly the Bucks got the lieutenant governor from Wisconsin on the phone, so they can do their thing. But I think they're just like, look, we don't know what is going to happen or how stuff is going to happen, but we're going to do something and we're going to make it uncomfortable for people. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And to a certain extent, I mean, that's what's happening. But there is some criticism, which brings me to my next getcha man's. All right, I just got to say, this dude drives me nuts, man. He is actually getting got for a second time on this podcast. Hashtag RTBTH. Hashtag shout out to the podcast. Jason Whitlock. My God, this guy is unbelievable. So the reason why he comes to mind is I was on the YouTubes, as I do for a good 7.5 hours a day.
Shit, this dude. I know this guy.
And so there's a guy on Fox Sports 1. His name is Clay Travis, and he's straight radio. Like, they ain't gonna put that fool on TV because he's got some interesting perspectives. I mean,
he's on TV every once in a while. Well, he used to be.
Yeah, before he started saying dumb shit. I don't know if y'all remember a while ago.
Oh, he got banned.
I guess it was in 2017. He said he's a First Amendment absolutist. The only two things I 100% believe in are the First Amendment and boobs. He said this on CNN. I don't know if y'all remember that guy, but this is Clay Travis. And
okay. I thought he was talking about Jason Whitlock.
No, that's Clay Travis, but Jason Whitlock was on Clay Travis's radio show today, or maybe yesterday. I think it was today because they were talking about
wow, what a weirdo.
Yeah, they were talking about the boycott. And then Jason Whitlock, who is no longer on Fox Sports 1, his position on the TV show, damn, I forgot, the one that happens later in the day with Marcellus Wiley, and now Emmanuel Acho, shout out Nigeria. He's also the one that has been doing the conversations with difficult conversations with a black man on YouTube. He took Jason Whitlock's role on that show that I don't remember, and now Jason Whitlock is with Clay Travis on his website called The Outkick or whatever the fuck it's called, Outkick, which is a very sort of right-leaning conservative sports publication. Anyway, the reason why I say get your man's Jason Whitlock, because he was on the Clay Travis show talking shit, talking about how the players are hypocrites. You know, he's always coming for LeBron. The first time he was on Get Your Man's, apparently nobody got his ass, but he's not on Fox Sports 1 anymore, so maybe somebody did. Emmanuel Acho got his ass. Shout out Emmanuel Acho. The first time he got is because he was talking shit about LeBron and about how LeBron's house got tagged with all of the racial,
slurs.
Yeah, the racial slurs. And he was saying how this stuff doesn't affect LeBron. LeBron is hypocritical. LeBron's a millionaire, blah, blah, blah.
What?
I'm like, LeBron's the only person in Brentwood who got his fucking house tagged. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter if LeBron's rich or whatever. So that's the first time he got on the podcast. The second time, he's basically saying that the NBA players have no plan. They have no protocol. They're not doing things structured or organized. At one point, I want to try and splice this into the podcast, but he was saying that they're all delusional and trapped in the social media vortex, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But he was saying that their smartphones have basically blinded them. And I mean, he's just talking shit. He's calling the players hypocrites. He's saying that the movement doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna
this article, man. This article is hilarious.
I mean, dude, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pull some quotes too, man. Like Jason Whitlock is on, and the thing is, I don't have any issues with black conservatives, black Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to have a diversity of thought, but it's when they're blind and they also don't appreciate and accept and acknowledge the racism that comes from white people and the racism perpetuated upon people of color over centuries. You know what I'm saying? When they completely deny it, that's when I have a problem with black conservatives. And that's the type of person Jason Whitlock appears like. He comes across to me. I'm going to see if I can find some of these quotes that, and he wrote an article, I think, today. I think he's saying that LeBron James is overseeing the black KKK or some shit like that. I mean, he's completely ridiculous, man.
He said. So this is what this was written in this article that's titled "LeBron James is a bigot." He says LeBron James has more than 40 million followers on Twitter.
This is Jason Whitlock.
This is Jason Whitlock. This
on
is
the Outkick.
That wrote this article. Yeah, on the Outkick.
Oh my god!
This was published yesterday. 2 days ago. 2 days ago. It was published 2 days ago. And he says, is James intentionally being used as an agent of chaos? His logic is consistent with the logic of white bigots. James uses occasional anecdotes to make sweeping negative generalizations about white police officers. Quoting LeBron James, and y'all wonder why we say what we say about the police. And then he goes back. James's Twitter reads like a transcript from a KKK rally.
Oh my God.
Can't you hear the Grand Wizard of the Klan shouting to his followers in the aftermath of the O.J. Simpson? And y'all wonder why we say what we say about black people. LeBron James foolishly thinks he's overseeing the police. He's overseeing the black KKK. He's promoting racism. He's demonizing a group of white people based on the behavior of a few. I'm just like, wait, at what point did he say anything about white people or white police officers?
Yo, dog whistling out here.
No, he's not even dog. He called.
No, I'm talking about this dude, Jason Whitlock, is out here like fucking super gaslight.
He created a complete racist, like reverse racism thing out of nothing. I'm trying to figure out where he got this about being against white people.
Bro, I got to share this picture with y'all of this hilarious picture. Oh my God. We got to have some kind of visual element to our podcast now, because there's this picture of Jason Whitlock with some white dude dressed up as Kaepernick, and It's oh my god! I gotta
What?
send this to y'all right
Oh my
now. Oh my
God.
god,
In the chat.
this is insane. Oh my god. The picture is attached to an article that's basically like, yo, Jason Whitlock should not be on TV. But like, this shit is
Yo.
insane. Y'all click that link that I just sent to y'all.
Oh my God.
Jason Whitlock basically posted this picture on his Twitter in 2017. But I mean, I can't imagine what kind of world this dude is living in.
Bro,
I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't have any issues with black conservatives, but when you try to outright deny racism and systemic racism and police brutality, that's completely ridiculous. And then when you also try to disparage the protests that people are trying to, have and the the boycotts and the messages that people are trying to communicate and what they're doing, when you try to completely deny that, I'm just like, where are you? I think Jason Whitlock is jealous of LeBron because he obviously can't play any sports if you just look at him. But I think it potentially comes from a place of just like jealousy and contempt for something he could never accomplish.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know why he's saying this. I don't understand why he's saying this.
He's saying these things because he gets rewarded by white people by saying them. It probably started out, he was middle of the road, maybe a little bit conservative, and then that's where he garners attention. Every time he says some racial shit and it's not what all the other black people are saying, all white people who believe that shit put him on a pedestal like, see, look at this black guy telling it like it's real. And that feeds his ego. It's all a part of the same, social media, fucking, creating your own echo chamber and bubble. And now, he does get paid a lot of money not anymore on TV, but he had a platform, I guess, still technically a platform until he got fired by Fox Sports. But
this is after getting fired by ESPN a couple years ago.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, and he got hired by Fox Sports, who is taking in all the rejects, all the racist rejects, and then he got fired by them again too, didn't he? He no longer works for Fox Sports.
I mean, I don't know if he got fired, but that's what I'm saying. Emmanuel Acho got his new job, and I don't know, what's.
Yo, I'm.
Did y'all click this fucking link?
On this. I saw it. Yeah, that's crazy. But I'm reading the comments on this Outkick.
I don't even want to. Please read them because I don't even want to give them a click
incels
by going
talking
there.
shit. Probably.
Yeah, there's some dude that named his profile Spine Shot.
God, man,
that sounds like a gamer tag.
Fucking
no, but he's talking about the fucking shooting
Jacob
of
Blake.
Jake Blake in his fucking spine.
I didn't. Oh shit, I didn't even think of that.
That guy's a little bitch.
Nah.
Anyway, he says, I thought that was a hot take headline. Then I read the article, and by the end, you've made an indisputable, logical case that LeBron is in fact a bigot. So well done. I was like, what?
That is unbelievable.
This guy didn't even read the article.
to say that LeBron is a bigot is like, maybe his politics aren't the most shiny and the most well put together, but to call him a bigot is completely ridiculous. I also want to say on that video, I'll try to splice that audio into the podcast as well. Jason Whitlock said he doesn't vote. He said he doesn't participate in politics. And I'm like, yo, you cannot talk about these things if you don't vote. You know what I'm saying? Like you cannot be trying to call people out on their politics. You can't. One of his other main points was that the NBA players didn't have a defined plan for accomplishing their goals, which, some people have said that. Stephen A. Smith has said that on that they need to have a much more targeted plan for accomplishing their goals. But Jason Whitlock, you can't have that. You can't say anything if you don't vote. It's that simple, because the voting is the only actual voice, to some extent that people have is their way of participating in the politics conversation and how our country should be governed. So if you don't vote, then I don't, your point is kind of moot. So
I wonder who Jason Whitlock surrounds himself with on a daily basis. Like, I wonder what a day in the life of Jason Whitlock actually looks like. Does he think he is above racism? Like, does he think he doesn't experience?
Of course he does.
I can't I can't imagine.
And you know what? To some extent, he kind of is, because he's mentally above it, because he's, sort of like couched himself in this weird position where he's basically like pushing some of these kind of, racist conservative ideologies, but no one that he's entrenched with is going to call him out, because they're all just a bunch of white racist conservatives, and so he kind of is in his own mind above racism, but he's also in reality couched himself in the most sort of racist, like he's feeling the full effects of it, I would say. I don't know, man. So I don't know. Sports commentators. I guess that's y'all, because y'all are sports commentators. Two commentators that I like. Sports broadcasters. Whoever has anything to say about sports, get your man's B. And that would be Jason Whitlock.
Somebody needs to just. I mean, obviously, violence is not the answer, but like somebody needs to. Yeah, somebody needs to swing on this dude. I tried to look also to be like, yo, what does his wife look like? Like, is he just like indoctrinated by just white people everywhere? Was he adopted and raised by racist? But is he like Tyrone Biggums or whatever dude's name is from the Chappelle Show sketch? Not Tyrone.
I know what you're talking about. The black KKK dude. The black KKK guy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's what happens. Yes, Uncle Ruckus. Oh my God. He's
Clayton Bigsby.
Uncle Clayton Bigsby. There you go. Yeah. But this dude is a fucking Uncle Ruckus head ass. Like,
Bruh. And the thing is, like, it's like we only talk about him because I don't follow Jason Whitlock's sports commentary. We only talk about him when he has these inflammatory comments. I didn't know he was doing it to this extent from that image you just sent, Herschel. But apparently he was very against Colin Kaepernick's protest. LeBron James gets his house tagged in Brentwood, California. By the way, the only house in Brentwood that's getting tagged. That's why it was an issue. He's calling LeBron out. He's calling LeBron out again, trying to claim that LeBron is leading the black KKK. The only time anyone, at least us, and I'm very plugged into sports.
Holy shit.
That we talk about him is when has these inflammatory comments. So what is he really? He's just a fucking guy with some really shitty takes.
Yeah, man.
This is crazy.
Get your man's B.
Interesting character. I'll say the least.
Yo, it's crazy because he's got like family members who are black. Like it's I'm just scrolling through his Twitter right now, and like all of it is inflammatory shit. And every once in a while he'll post on like, or it appears that somebody posted, it might be his nephew or some shit like that, and he responded basically supporting like, oh yeah, a little black kid going to school, but like everything else that he has up here is super inflammatory. I just don't get how black people like this don't realize the damage that they are doing, not only to themselves, but their own direct family. Not even just thinking about like all the distant, like, oh man, because we can only honestly care about maybe 200 other people in our lives for real. That's why all these global movements and agendas and shit like that, they don't work, because you just don't have the capacity to truly care about more than just this relatively small group of people. But when you get on a platform and start just denouncing and saying all kinds of craziness, and it does look like you are attacking people who look like you, I don't get how your own self-preservation doesn't make you check yourself. I wonder what kind of mental gymnastics this dude is constantly going through. What kind of cognitive dissonance is it where like he's never wrong? It's always, oh, that dude was just being racist. Oh, he was just attacking me because he's black and doesn't agree with me, and I'm speaking facts. Like, what?
Have you guys ever heard of gay for pay? Yes. These like straight dudes who are willing to go and do porn videos if they pay them, like homosexual kind of porn videos. Yeah. And I think there's racist for pay. I think there's
I mean, who's paying him though?
Republican donors, people who can cut the check. Like people like Tim Scott and all these other idiots out there that just like it's like there's something they say. I'm just like, I know, like that is what? Where'd you get this stuff from? It's like,
whoever's advertising on Outkick.com is a fucking is paying a racist. Like that's basically what it is. Every advertiser that supports Fox News, all that shit. That's paying racist.
Yep. I mean, that's what it is. I think there's racism for pay, or racist for pay.
What was that chick's name? Candace Owens?
Yeah, all these people.
Same shit.
It's like, how do they all have money? It's like, dude, the shit that you're saying is like so inflammatory that people want you to say it will give you money. Like once you get your voice out there, like they're looking for people just like them.
I'm glad Charles Barkley escaped that, because he, for a little bit of time, he was also, because he's just a person who is like, yo, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I had very few opportunities, but I still made it type dude. Just a stubborn old black man. People were at a point, having him do the same thing. He had that little TV show that kind of fucking failed. But I think he also recognized, like, yo, hold up, my voice, even though I don't want to be a role model, we shouldn't be role models. Hey man, people listen. That's what happens. It's unavoidable. Whether you have one follower or a million, you are impacting and influencing other people's lives with your voice, no matter what. And you can either do it in the positive, or you can be spewing hate and toxicity and lying, just fucking lying.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
How this?
Why are y'all saying this?
Yeah, and you got to get creative with these fucking lines. That's the thing. And I imagine there's like something of a template. Like, okay, all right, well, he said this, so I'm gonna just flip to this one. Oh, he said that. Well, he's racist. Look at this Marxist. These fucking hot button fucking talking points. It's the Trump playbook basically. But
yo, you know the one that's crazy. Tripping me out right now, when Trump was out at Mount Rushmore doing his July 4th speech, he said they're indoctrinating our children. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I've never heard that. And I mean, what are they indoctrinating the children into? But that, I think that's a talking point that I've heard a lot lately. To me, it's hilarious. Like, I just want to know what the indoctrination is. Like, I'm not necessarily, gonna completely disregard it, but what?
It's on Fox. It's on Fox News all the time. They're saying that they're indoctrinating them with the liberal agenda, and like they scare them with like gay and transphobic comments and bathroom shit, and then they go switch to abortion. Like this is what they scare them with. It's like they scare these conservative people with those kind of comments. It's like saying, oh, they're gonna make your kids become, sex addicts, and it's gonna be violence, and they're gonna get killed in the streets. It's like all these fear tactic.
Yeah. And the thing is, they mean it in the most toxic ways, because in reality, and I'm not going to catch no flack for this, because pull up, but indoctrination isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, the true definition is, the process of teaching a person or group to accept a set of beliefs. And the controversial part is the uncritically at the end. But like, if they're in school teaching kids like, yo, all sexualities are cool. It's not a problem. You shouldn't question or criticize when somebody is straight or gay or bi or whatever, or, Black Lives Matter. Like, yo, these, don't be critical of these black people, don't criticize that. Those are positives, but they are literally indoctrinating when they're saying, yo, don't question us. That's true indoctrination. We're going to tell you some shit and don't question it. Schools, what, the issues they have is where people are being encouraged to think and question and, do different shit. That's the problem.
I mean, I don't want to go down this road, but on the very far left, there is some things that need to be questioned, I would say.
It all needs to be questioned. That would be my point. Question all that shit.
Yeah, we should. I mean, what we need to be indoctrinating our kids with is critical thinking skills. Like, that's the only thing we need to indoctrinate them with.
Hey, you sound like a scientist, bro. People don't come on to RTBJ to listen to that shit. No, I'm playing.
We're supposed to be saying, fuck Republicans. That's what they want us to say.
Nah, that's real, though. That's real, man. Yo, critical thinking skills are not common. I think that's what people actually mean when they say common sense is not common. It's actually critical thinking skills is not common.
Exactly. That's the truest thing I've ever heard. That's so true.
But yo, Herschel, man, I want to go back to what you said about Charles Barkley, and personally, I am of the mindset that, yeah, you know, you pick yourself up by the bootstraps, and as you know, all situations in life, like if you can try to be resilient and durable, you know, I think a lot of people can get through some things. But I think the difference between Charles Barkley and I guess maybe he had to learn this, and someone like Jason Whitlock is like, do you have empathy for people who don't have those opportunities, and you know, who can't necessarily just get up out the hood, or they're
I mean, if Charles Barkley wasn't 6'9", well, how would he have survived? What would he be doing? He couldn't play no damn basketball at 5'10". Damn sure can't. Not doing what the kind of style of play he was going to be doing.
I mean, he's a talented dude. I mean, you know, he's good on TV, so you know, maybe he would have found another career.
No,
maybe.
He only got on TV because he was good at basketball.
But he's good on TV though.
Yeah, but they would never have found him. How many?
No. He was not good on TV.
Black people could have been good on TV, like in the grand scheme of things. A lot of black people could be good on TV, but how come they're not on TV? Because they ain't fucking with black people.
And yet, for a long time,
Charles Barkley of all guys, Charles Barkley, you're the one. Fuck no.
For a long time, he couldn't speak. He took a lot of speech lessons and improved himself. Like, people couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. He's a country boy from Alabama or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I agree that with Charles on this point that, like, yo, there is a point where, like, you got to have some personal responsibility. Mm-hmm. You know, you do have to figure some of this shit out. We can't hand you everything. But when the protests and the society we live in are actively oppressing minorities. And that's where I feel like so much of this frustration comes from. And then on the grandiose scale, it's like, yo, not only are you oppressing us, but you're literally enacting violence on us. That's where, you know, shit gets really, really crazy. But like at the end of the day, yes, you gotta, I mean, you know, critical thinking or whatever skill you have, you gotta do it yourself. You gotta have just enough of a drive to improve yourself. If you don't have that self-improvement drive, you know, it doesn't matter if you got $1 million loan from your dad or not. Like, you're just not gonna make it.
Well, I mean, on that note, I mean, I agree, but I think the part of the reason for the protest is also the violence, like the way the system works against black people. But I think just in an even more basic sense, it's like what does a black person have to do to be able to be successful in America versus a white person? Let's say, you know, they had the same exact intellect, the same personality. You just colored one black, one color, one white. Like, what, you know, where would they be? Like, how would they be able to get to a point where they would be successful and be able to take care of themselves? It takes so much more work as a black person, because chances are that black kid's going to be born in a poor neighborhood because over centuries they've already tried to diminish the economic opportunities of his ancestors. So of course his economic opportunities are already low. He can't go to good school, all this stuff. So people are talking about all of those things that are built in to the realities of America. It's like, you have to work so much harder that it's basically impossible, because the same white person is trying to get that same job that you're trying to get, but they had all these advantages that are inherent in the system, right? Just the way they were born, the schools they could attend. So you have to work so much harder, even though all your gifts, your own personal worth, the work that you put in is you're working just as hard as them. You're working balls to the wall. The white guys work balls to the wall. But I mean, you have to work 50% harder than him. Like, when you're already at your max, it's like, that's as hard as anyone can work, but you still expect him to be able to compete at the same level as that guy, which is like, I mean, how does that make sense? Of course it doesn't make sense. And that's why I think, just at the very basic level, you know, people are not starting on the even playing field. And even if you try as hard as you can, somebody who's just the same as you with a different skin color will do much better than you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even if you are, you know, a very resourceful person, you know, if you were born into some impoverished circumstances and, you know, racism is beaten down on your life, even if you are resourceful and a very hard worker, you could still just barely make it into the next class, you know, which, you know, for a lot of people, yes, that's doing good, but people want to thrive. People want to have great lives, you know, and you, like you said, you can really put in all that work way harder than the next person and really just kind of make it so far. So, I think, you know, again, people like Charles and Jason Whitlock, regardless of what they've accomplished and how hard they've worked, I think you have to be very empathic for the people who are not as fortunate. And that's one of the primary shortcomings of our country is that the economic misfortune is so skewed.
It's systemic. It's predicted economic misfortune.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we had one more get your mans before we wrap up. Herschel, what was that about? What was you talking about earlier? Get your mans.
Want to get your man's Kanye?
Oh yeah. All right, guys. Listen, man. I feel like every time we get on this podcast, it's some new shit with your boy,
bruh.
Obviously, I don't know what's going on with the family structure. I don't know if it should be a goal.
Bruh, what do you mean? Go watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You'll know.
Yes, it might be Get Your Fam. It might be Get Your Fams. Because I really don't know. I'm scared for dude's mental health. We've talked about it before, but like, dude is erratic. Dude is out here,
he's on manic episodes left and right.
Yes. Running for president, not running for president, holding rallies. I don't even know if we talked about the
crying
wild
at
shit
the rallies.
Yeah, bruh. Like, I don't understand. It's a little bit old now.
This dude cried, yo.
Yes.
I'm mad as hell.
You can literally hear on the video, the chick who's filming is like, "Ooh, no, we gotta leave. We're out."
I'm mad she even showed up.
Actually, too much.
I was so mad that she said she's about to leave right now. I'm like,
somebody had to document. Yeah, I needed to see.
I was like, yo, man, she's crying right now.
I would have stayed because that shit looked hilarious.
Yeah, but so I wonder if
he did say Harriet Tubman. By the way, Harriet Tubman didn't really free the slaves. She just made them go work for other white people.
She did. He did say that. Yes.
I'm like, yeah, but
Listen,
you're
man.
not a slave anymore. That's like what people do in real life. Is they
get
work
that man's
for people
history
and
teacher,
get paid.
everything. Get his therapist. We might be on a Michael Jackson episode with him in a few years. I hate to say it like that, but like, man. People fall in love with the medication, man.
Kanye's a
man,
great,
they're all
though,
greats.
right?
What you mean? They're all greats, and they all got flaws. All of our idols, all these people who are great at whatever.
Bad for him.
On some Jason Whitlock shit. Even this dude LeBron, we shouldn't be over idolizing. But at the same time, the only real God is Barack Obama. That's the only man. No, I'm just playing. Nah, because he even had some flaws too, man. Even in office, man, he didn't help black people enough.
He was token up back there, man. They wanted to hide that from us. Oh, what was it? Chain smoking?
Yo, he was definitely stressed and was
really.
That's
why his voice. That's why his voice.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Back balcony of the White House. Bro, he got in there.
How is he gonna quit with all that stress, bro? That dude was taking cigarette break every 15.
See, he always had on long sleeves, so you never saw like the 8 nicotine patches on my man's arm. That's another conspiracy I'm trying to get off the ground.
Yo, this podcast is not short of conspiracies. You know it.
But nah, man, I fucks with the homie Barack, man. Please don't have Secret Service pull up on me. I know you still got clout out here in these streets.
Yo,
we
shout out
love
to your daughters,
you.
Though.
Yes, them two. Michelle, if Barack ever fucks up, hit my line. You know what it is.
Okay. Nigga talk about planning his wedding earlier in the podcast.
Isn't polygamy legal in some places?
Yes.
I'm not saying
I'm gonna be a Mormon.
That's disgusting.
I'm gonna get out here. Yo, listen. Why are you imposing your Puritan beliefs on my lifestyle, bro? What's that about?
That's true.
Damn,
man.
don't be judging me, dog. I'm just trying to live my best life. Is that cool? Is that cool with you?
I believe you should, man.
But nah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah.
I had another one, but we might have to save it because I don't remember. We got fucking. I got it. Your man's Tory Lanez. What the fuck, bruh? You were having a banner 2020, dog. Why you shoot that lady in both her feet? Why did you do it?
I have to say, man, I have not been paying attention to
I don't believe she got shot in her foot, though. Like,
Yo,
how was she over there?
No. We saw it in the video.
Over here.
It
was in the video.
So some of those things. All right. So I'm gonna tell you now.
I didn't see
Basically,
it in the video.
Meg Thee Stallion has also been having an incredible 2020, right? Basically, this dude, Tory Lanez, shit was happening in quarantine. He was out here fucking quarantine radio, going ham, had bitches pouring milk on their ass, shaking ass, oil, all kinds of shit, random Instagram
were these, like,
live.
streams?
all across the world. Yes,
Yeah,
he would just be. He had a fucking radio or a microphone and a DJ, and like people would just pull up on Instagram Live, like, "Oh, you bad? Oh, do you have milk in your fridge?" And she'd be like, "No, but I have oil." And they were like, "Oh yeah, let's get it." And then they would twerk, and this shit was crazy. But basically, dude was hanging out once again. Guess which royal American pop culture family was involved?
Oh shit!
Those Kardashians, those goddamn
Which one?
Jenner Kardashians. I think it was Kylie that they were hanging out with. I don't know, man. They all fucking run together to me. Which one has the child with Travis Scott? Is it Kendall?
Kylie.
Is it okay? Well, it's one of them. I honestly do not know. Don't fact check me on
Yeah,
that.
they all
shit.
look the same to me, man.
Yes, and none of them are helping out my man Kanye. So fuck them all.
Yeah.
But basically, they were all hanging out.
Kim did say that he needs to, get some help. But I'm like, why you
She
let him
didn't
leave
give
the
it to him.
house?
I mean, he is a grown ass man, but
He
Well,
is a
she's a
grown-ass
grown ass
man.
woman, and if she tells him he has to stay, he's gonna do it.
that's
You never know.
typically how
You
it
never
is in
know.
marriage.
That's typically how it is when you're a Kardashian.
Yeah.
I don't know. They drive people to crack, man. This shit is crazy. Anyway. All right,
that's
Tory
true.
Lanez. Basically, I assume he and Meg Thee Stallion get into some kind of argument. Dude had a gun in the car. He's not very tall. He's literally 5'3". I'm sorry. That's cool. I'm a shorter dude too. I don't have any problems with it. But like Meg Thee Stallion is literally a stallion. She's very, very tall. He got offended. He got upset. I don't know what was said. I don't know if she
Called
was
him a
just talking
short-ass
shit.
nigga,
Yo, you never know. And, that was in his line of sight. He was like, feet shot. What boggles my mind is how you shoot both feet, dog.
Bro,
Like, you shoot
how is
one
this
and
man
I
not
would assume
arrested?
she's hopping around. No, he got arrested.
Dance.
He got arrested.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
He got arrested.
Dance.
All right, so here's how the shit broke down, right? He shot her. Now, we don't know he shot her, but what happens is basically there was a shooting that happened, and she hops out the car and is like, her feet are bleeding. You can see it. She's like limping. It's bad. She has to go to the emergency room, and she the next day is like, yo, I got shot in both my feet. She ain't say who did it. Tory Lanez gets arrested for a gun charge the next day. Like he was somewhere where he wasn't supposed to have guns, basically, or he just, shit is crazy. Now, couple of weeks and stuff go by, and he's talking reckless and basically not like. Meg Thee Stallion was trying to protect him. She very recently, like literally this week, was like, yo, I tried to protect you. I was trying to, as black women will say, oh man, always trying to protect our black men. Da, da, da. Fuck that, man. Whatever. If you got shot, you're allowed to talk about that shit. You're allowed to.
100%.
It's not snitching. If the dude who shot you, you could tell people that. Those are not the same thing. But basically, she was like, yeah, Tory Lanez shot me in both my feet. That's a direct quote. End quote right there. Boom. And but yes, he did get arrested, but like he didn't get charged for, like, she didn't press charges on the shooting. Like, but they still had to come get dude with a gun who fired a gun. Like you can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't be shooting people in general. But for Wet Ass Pussy and all the videos, because she also did the BET Awards earlier this summer, and it was virtual, obviously. All that shit was filmed beforehand. And I'm sure it's weeks later now. She has healed. She might not walk the exact same, but, I would imagine that, modern medicine is great. In 3-4 weeks, in a couple of months, we don't even think about how Drake tore his fucking ACL, Yeah, exactly. But this dude, Drake, is out here at the Nike facility playing ball against Tunde's nemesis, KD, and catching passes from Odell Beckham. But people forget this dude
getting laid
Drake,
out by Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, getting laid the fuck out. But people forget he fucking tore up his knee and was like on a chair or a fucking stool at a bunch of shit. Money.
He broke his
money
ankle
will
when he fell
heal
off the
everything.
stage before.
Fell off the stage? Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, all that
was
shit.
like 10 years ago.
Crazy. Shit is crazy out here in these crazy streets.
Well, you know what? I think that's a good place to wrap it up. This is the Coronavirus Chronicles number 5. And although we didn't talk about coronavirus that much, but I think the theme is that, man, our world is on some shit right now. Our world is like addicted to meth. Like the whole world is like smoking meth.
Tiger King out this bitch.
Bruh, I'm saying, yeah, it's like the world is Tiger King. Tiger King. Tiger King. Tiger King.